Hey everyone, welcome back to Titan AI. Today we're going to break down an incredibly useful automation workflow in n8n that combines Gmail, OpenAI, and Google Drive. The idea is simple. We automatically process emails that come into your inbox, check if the attached PDFs are bills, and if they are, we upload them to the folder in Google Drive. It sounds simple, but we're combining real-time triggers, file processing, AI classification, and cloud storage all in one flow. And I'm going to walk you through every part of it in full detail but in plain human language. So let's jump in. We start with the Gmail trigger node. This acts like a guard dog at the gate, constantly checking for new emails. In this case, we set it to check every minute. We want to make sure it only posts in new, unread emails, so we don't keep reprocessing old ones. And critically, we ask it to automatically download any attachments that come with the email. That's important because our workflow revolves around those attachments. Make sure the Gmail account is connected through n8n's OAuth2 credentials. Google will ask for permissions, and once you approve, you're good to go. From here on, anytime a new email arrives, n8n will grab it, including any PDFs attached. The second step is where we define the constants our workflow will rely on. This includes how much text we can safely send to OpenAI, how many tokens we expect in the reply, what keyword we're matching against like bill or invoice, and the URL of the Google Drive folder where we want matched PDFs to be uploaded. This node is important because it will reference these values later using expressions. It also makes the workflow easier to update. Want to match a different document type? Just change it here. Before we go any further, we ask a simple question. Does the email even have any files attached? This is handled by an if node that checks if there is binary content in the message. If not, we don't need to do anything. This step is important for performance and avoids wasting time and API calls when there's nothing to process. Now, we loop through every attachment in the email using a small code node. Emails might have multiple files, maybe an invoice and a receipt. So we split them out into individual items. Each attachment will now be handled as its own object in the workflow, so the rest of the logic is clean and reusable. Not every file is worth analyzing. Images, spreadsheets, Word docs, etc. We're not interested. So we use an if node to check each file's extension. If it's not a PDF, we exit that path. This ensures it will only feed valid files into the PDF reader, which saves time and avoid errors. Once we confirm it's PDF, we'll use the read PDF node to pull out the full text content from the file. Why do we do this? Because OpenAI can't understand the PDF file directly. It needs a raw text. This node gives us exactly that, a big block of readable text that we can use in our AI prompt. There is a limit to how much text OpenAI can handle in one request. That's what this step is for. We roughly estimate how many tokens the text will be and make sure it doesn't exceed the limit we defined earlier. If it does, we skip this file. No need to crash the workflow or overload the model. Here's where the magic happens. We craft a short prompt that says, "Hey OpenAI, does this text look like a bill?" And if you give it a file name and full text we checked earlier. We keep the instruction very clear. We don't want a fancy paragraph. We just want a simple answer, true or false. We also set the model to be deterministic by keeping the temperature low. That way, we got constant results every time we run the workflow with the same input. This node does require an OpenAI API key. You can get one from OpenAI's platform, then paste it into your n8n credentials. After OpenAI gives us an answer, we merge it back with the original file's information. Why? Because we want to know which file it was talking about when it says true or false. This merge keeps everything organized in one place. Here, we ask one final question. Did OpenAI say this is a bill? If the answer is true, we move forward and upload the file. If not, we stop. No need to clutter our drive with irrelevant files. This filtering step is what makes the workflow smart. It's not just reacting, it's thinking. Now, we take that confirmed match and send it to Google Drive. We use the file's original name and we extract the folder ID from the Google Drive link we defined earlier. Just like with Gmail, you need to set up OAuth credentials for a Google account. But once it's connected, this node will drop your file neatly into the folder, fully automated. We've also added a few placeholder nodes called no-ops, just to mark branches like no attachments or file too large. These don't do anything, but they help keep the workflow readable and structured. And there you have it, a complete intelligent automation workflow that classifies and organizes documents using AI and no-code tools. Thanks for sticking with me. Let me know if you want a version of this that extracts invoice fields or generates a summary PDF.